Right, we could. So we can start now.
Ji, please go ahead.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor for me to be in the company of such esteemed women who have been able to make a dent in the space of women's financial inclusion. This is not an easy space to operate in. We are all very familiar with the challenges faced by women in Pakistan, and the statistics are extremely embarrassing as well. We know, as per the global gender gap report, Pakistan is at 145th out of 146 countries. We have consistently maintained that position, unfortunately. In the space of financial inclusion, women have made improvements during COVID. Digital payments have become more popular. Unfortunately, during the same time, we did not see a lot of improvement in men's financial inclusion as well. In spite of that, the gender gap still remains at 15%. So that means that a lot more work has to be done, and gender gap is only half of the story. The other story is that inclusion for women is still only at 13%. So there is a large proportion of women who are financially excluded, and we know that even the ones who are included, they are not completely served. All of their financial needs are not met. So there's a lot of work to be done. We've seen a growth in the number of fintechs, in the number of financial service providers. But what I've seen from my experience in private sector development over the past decade or so has been that private institutions also struggle to understand how do we serve these segments. So businesses are ready to go to lower income segments. Businesses are ready to serve women as well. But the only thing they're asking for is they want to understand how do we do that. They want to be sure of the business case. They need to understand operational details as to how do we target a particular segment while still making revenues and still minimizing our costs. So the business case is there, but businesses are not aware of that potential, and they are not aware of how do we address different barriers which are faced by women. Because financial inclusion of men is not the same as financial inclusion of women. Women do face additional barriers of information, mobility, networking. Even decision-making for women is different. Psychologically, they need different times to make decisions. And it's not because they were born with a defect, it's because of social conditioning. We've seen through data from other countries as well that while men might decide to sign up for a financial service in only a matter of hours or days, women will still need to spend weeks or months in making that decision. And then they will also consult their social network. They'll also ask for other people's opinions before they sign up for a particular financial service. Because otherwise, there will be people in the community who will tell them that you might do something wrong, you might waste your money, tax wale piche pad jayenge, formal service nahi leni, etc. So the decision-making process for women is very complicated. And we have 4 wonderful ladies on this panel who have been trying to tackle this problem. They have been able to design strategies to reach out to women customers and have been able to move the needle on financial inclusion. So before we delve into discussion, I'll have a quick round of introductions. I'll start with myself. So I'm Navan. I'm the gender advisor for Karandas. So I look after women's financial inclusion in the digital financial services team. I'll go in a particular order in which I can see participants on my screen. So in the top right, I have Maria Umar. Can you please briefly describe yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Maria Umar. I'm the Gender and Inclusion Specialist at OneLoad, which is a social enterprise working and provides financial services for the poor. It's a digital financial aggregator working on a B2B2C model, and I'll tell you more when we come to that.
Thank you for joining the discussion. Farwa Tapal.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Farwa Tapal. I am today a design strategist consultant. I do 2 things. I actually run a manufacturing unit in industrial site. These days, I basically have been running part-time a family business. But what I have really done in the last 5 years is start and founded Uran, basically looking at how women manage their finances in order to make financial inclusion more possible. And that's what we're going to be talking more about today as well. But what's interesting is the 2 different perspectives I've recently seen, one from a services side of running a business and the other of a manufacturing unit, an industrial unit in Pakistan as well.
Thank you. Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
Nosheen Naz.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Nosheen. I lead the marketing for Hisab Kitab, which is a financial wellness, tool. We help people manage their finances, and it's like we are trying to increase financial literacy in Pakistan, which is right now is pretty, awful, honestly. But yeah, we're working on it.
Thank you for being here. Nain Hayat, last but not least.
Assalamu everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for hosting us, BFN. I am heading Zoot Pay in Pakistan, which is a digital lending platform for e-commerce. Prior to this, I co-founded Days, which was a fintech, that did consumption lending. And it was interesting to see how financial services was perceived in many different ways, by women versus men, and what kind of services, opposed to loans and savings, were adopted over, the various segments, primarily women, and how, the interaction of females with a financial service really differed across segments.
Wonderful. So I think there would be an opportunity to learn from the experiences of all of these 4 entities. I'm excited about the discussion. But the one thing that we want our audience members to understand is that there is a business case for targeting women customers. We can't always do it just as a CSR initiative. Karandas does work on a lot of interventions as well, and we know that our funds are limited as well. And in the long term, we do want to see businesses take ownership of that component and run with it. And we are glad to see that our grantees have done that in the past as well. And I'm very happy to report that 3 of the entities are grantees of Karandas over here in the past. And OneNote is an investee of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So we'll just start talking about the specific business models.